What is up? Let me know when someone gets on, if they can hear and see me okay, and we'll get this party started. Emails already. Oh, for fuck's sake. Emails already gone out. I'm going to have a browser notification thingy going out in just a second, too. Letting the whole world know that we're here, because that's important. I don't really know what I was trying to accomplish there. Hope everybody's doing peachy keen. Although I do regret saying peachy keen just then. I have had a fantastic few days. Went to the beach yesterday. Got a little bit of sun. Don't know if it shows or not. People starting to pile on now, but everybody's being shy. If you're on there, let's say hello and let me know if you can hear me, okay? I don't like the feeling of talking to myself. Platinum Web Marketing asks, where's the link to watch from Facebook? Let me see if I can get that for you. Curious why that matters, but let me get that for you in just a second here. I don't mind. I don't care. I'm genuinely just curious. It's good feedback, you know. I think this will get you there. While we're waiting on that, we had a gentleman who specifically asked me to look at his profile, and I don't know if he's on or not. So I'm going to see if I can find it. But seriously, for those of you that are on, please say hello so I don't feel like I'm still talking to myself. All right, no. Well, apparently Platinum Web Marketing is the only one that wants to talk to me today. It's like grade school all over again. I'm hoping it's this. Oh, fuck's sake. What's up? Lots of people on, but nobody's chatting with me today. I wonder if the comments are working. Glenn says, hey, Chris. Hey, Glenn, what's going on, buddy? Always a pleasure to see you. Ali says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Ali? Moel says, he said, I'm sorry, I was reading Ali's comment. Hello, Chris. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Always a pleasure. I found the service, so I'm going to give that gentleman a little bit to show up. But otherwise, if anybody has anything else they'd like to talk about or whatever, we can do that. Or I can talk link building a little bit. Kamar says, hey, Chris, how's it going on? Not much, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Lars says, hey, mate. What's up, Lars? Always a pleasure. Excuse me, taking a little drink there. Platinum Web Marketing, there's your plug, says, oh, by the way, thanks, Chris. It's Anthony Carlito. Oh, I know your brand name. Your brand name, Platinum Web Marketing, available at your website. That's Platinum Web Marketing. There's your free plug. John says, hey, Chris, can you talk about a link building process for an affiliate site? Thank you. Sure, we'll get to that in just a tick. Pedrati says, how's it going? What's up? I was going to use that word that we always use, but I want to monetize this. Rabil says, hey, Chris, how are you? I literally could not be better, Rabil. How are you? Platinum Web Marketing says you posted a broken link and email. Link is wrong view from me. Facebook. Nah, it's working fine for me. Let me check again. And I'm literally looking at it on Facebook with the link that I dropped in the chat there. So it's definitely not broken. Yeah, this is the Facebook link right here. You're probably right about the Facebook link in email, though. Now that I think about it. Oh well, I was trying to rush it out. Sean says, "Hey Chris, how are you, troll face?" I'm guessing that was an emoji that did not get translated well, or you're calling me a troll face. Either way, I'm doing well, and I don't mind that you called me a troll face. Full Boost Media, home of media that will give you a full boost, says hello. Oh, what's up, Full Boost Media? It's coming in kind of a running gag here is me plugging people like Vance Refrigeration. Hemant says, can anyone tell what's the latest link building technique? I will tell you an effective link building technique if you stick around, or at least I'll tell you what mine is, and it's been effective for me. So I guess that's the same thing. I don't buy into this. You always have to have the latest, and that new is always better. I'm not Barney Stinson, although I am legend. Wait for it, dairy. But new is not necessarily always better. But we'll talk about link building here in just a second. It doesn't look like Kieran is going to show up. To be fair, I think it's like, it's only like 8 o'clock there. So we'll see. Anthony says, finally found it on Facebook. It's better than YouTube. That's interesting because generally the feedback I get is that it's easier on YouTube. So I guess it's a personal preference kind of thing. So let me bring up this link here. Decent turnout today, considering it was impromptu, although I did do the browser notification and the email, so that probably helps some. I'm kind of hungry. All right, let's go ahead and talk link building a little bit first. And then if Kieran shows up, we'll get into his profile. And if he doesn't, we'll still get into his profile because he's the one that motivated me to do this today, among other people. So let me share my screen. Let me log out because scoundrels. All right. I'm going to share that. This is, I guess you'd call it, it's a page, but it's a blog post that I put together fairly recently. And before I get into that, I've been reluctant to make anything like this. Can you guys see that okay? For quite some time. Because as the owner, I'm in kind of a, I guess, awkward position. When I recommend something, people take it as saying that's the best one, and then they don't buy other services of that type. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that this is what I've used and like what's worked for me. And doesn't mean that there aren't other similar or better services, and probably some that aren't as good too. It's just my personal opinion. So don't take this as legit or anything like that. It's just me putting together something that has been requested quite a bit. So we'll go through that. Now, technically, I said we're going to talk about link building, and that's what it'll primarily be, although there are some more than link building services on here. And I think I dropped that in the chat. It's just superstarseo.com/best SEO services on Legiit. And like I said, it's just a blog post. And I go through the same thing I just said with you guys, that it, oh, good Lord. It's just kind of my list, basically. Doesn't reflect any position other than me. I'm going to answer Rabil's question here, and I'm going to be a little bit obnoxious about it, so I apologize in advance. It says, recently, I can't get order. Oh, yes, thanks. Update for tips. Future, we just wait for Android app. Android app is not going to get you any more sales, nor is any other feature. I'm glad you like the tips, and I'm sorry that you're having trouble. Post your services on Monday and take advantage of all of the resources here. You do not need an app. I've done $5 million in marketplace services without an app. If you're having trouble with sales, I just dropped the link that will help you with everything that you need. So anyway, first off is keyword research. Obviously, you have to know your keywords to be able to rank anything. So here are 3 that I like. One is kind of like a giant service, whatever you want to call it. I don't see whatever you asked there, buddy. But this is kind of like the most comprehensive of them, in my opinion. The next one is from Clicks and Bricks. This one gives you more of a like low hanging fruit type keywords that are really, really good. And I'm just going to browse through these because we mainly want to talk about link building. And this one is really good for finding local keywords. So there's that. And this is On Page. This is Scott. He literally teaches on page SEO in Superstar SEO Academy. And then here's an alternative that's a little more cost effective for some folks, but still does a great job. And I've used all of these myself, by the way. This is about site speed. This is from Monkey Business, which is Jim, who should be on right now. If not, I'm going to have a conversation with him. I'm going to have a conversation with him regardless, but anyway. Now we can get into link building. The first one, basically my process is this. Let me break out the Becker board here. What is it? AW app. Start drawing. All right. So basically my process is this, and this is mostly for local sites, although most of this is going to apply to affiliate as well, because somebody was asking about affiliate earlier, is to start off, I like to build a strong foundation. Now that doesn't just mean foundation links. That means foundation. It means social profiles, and forgive my scribbling here. It means citations. And it means, I'm forgetting something else that we'll get to in just a second. So I like to build all of that to build up my site as a brand entity. So what I mean by that is that tells Google that, Lord, that this is a real brand or a real business or a real website. And it builds that and establishes that trust that you need. It also gives you diversification of your anchors without having to waste your stronger links on that. We'll talk about stronger links here in a minute. So that's kind of where I start. The service that I like to use for profiles, and they're, like I said, I'm going to say this probably several times, but the one I like to use most for profile links, or excuse me, social profile links, is this one from Moktesh, who I've known for several years now. He does a great job. By the way, how cool is this? That'll take you directly to the live stream if you happen to land on my site right now. Anyhow, he builds them out. They look really good. He builds out most of the effective ones. I think there's been some trouble with Twitter lately because they've gotten really hard. But and then you'll have if you do it right, you'll have the keyword in the URL or the brand name in the URL and in the title as well. So that takes that work off for you. And I think it's like $10 or something. Let's open that up. Yeah, $10 to $40 depending on how many you want. The next one is me, and I address this here in the comments. It says, this is my service and everything I do is the best it can be. Otherwise I don't do it. That's what my customers deserve. So you may consider it arrogant to recommend myself. I don't care. I would be doing a disservice to the people that give me their money if I were to do anything else. So anyhow, that's my citation service. And those are pretty straightforward. Even if you're doing a local site, citations can be powerful, trustworthy links. And then if you don't want to use me, that's perfectly fine. I use this one before I started having my own. He does a great job as well. I've been using him for years, so he does a great work as well. That's London SEO. Same thing for Web 2.0s. Now, a lot of people are going to cringe when they hear Web 2.0, and that's because they think of it as the kind of thing that we used to do, where we used to use software to send hundreds or thousands of these at once. That's not what I'm telling you to do here. What I'm telling you to do here is to build 10 to 50 of these using your brand name. So brand legit.weebly.com, legit.tumblr.com, and so on. And then just build them out, make them look nice, get the keyword in the URL and the title, or the brand name in the URL and the title to get the relevance. And they're pretty good. Next is foundation links. Now, this is kind of all of the links we've talked about so far. I consider them to be foundation links. So this is my favorite service for those. It has a really thorough report, and it's just really a lot of types of links. I don't like it when people use infographic for their sales page, but I get it. But this is my favorite. It's a bit more expensive, but totally worth it. And again, I'm going to say this over and over again. This doesn't mean that it's the best or the only one or anything like that. It's just what I've used and am happy with. And then me for social signals, I always do those alongside links. If you want a press release, Nix, who was a guest on this show a few weeks back, does a great job. He's kind of like the authority in the industry when it comes to that. So you can see press release there. Check him out. Those help with diversification. They help with brand awareness, and they help to impress your client too. So that's another service for links I use. Domain authority stacking from Roheen, who will be on later this week, I believe. This is a super powerful technique where basically, I don't want to get into the details, but basically you link things together in a certain way to push the power and the authority up to the money site. So yeah, that's that. And then if you want to get to guest post, give us the links to these sellers because I'm not able to catch. You can just take the whole link, dude. They're all linked right here. I'm not going to give each individual one because that would get cumbersome. But you just grab that link that I just dropped, Danny, and I'll see if I can't pin that as a comment too in just a minute. And that'll and it's also at the top of this video, so lots of options for you to get to that. And you can go. It'll link to all of those. And this one is me for guest posts. It's the only one I've used, and I think I do a great job. Same with niche edits and PBNs. But if you want to use somebody else for PBNs, Hatred is kind of an authority in the industry as well, and that's it. So as far as the technique, I guess I'm kind of just selling services here, and that's not really what I wanted to do. Let's go back to the technique. So once we've established all of these, I then like to go to press releases, and DAS. And basically, again, it varies from site to site and client to client and things like that. But this is month one. This is month two, along with some other odds and ends links. What's the other one? I guess I would probably do foundations down here as well. And then once we get all that in place, if you've done the on page as well, if you've done it correctly, you're probably already on page 2, depending on your terms and things like that. So now what you need to do is go for the knockout punch with strong links like PBN, guest post, fuck out of here. Niche ed, it's part of my language. And other similar types of links. These are where you want to use your money anchors because that's where the power is. So if you establish all of this beforehand, you're most likely, why does it do that? You're most likely on page 2. John, we covered all that in the beginning, but I'll walk you through it again in just a sec. And F stands for foundation links, although I decided that should probably be month 2. SP stands for social profiles, and I don't get where you see an E. Those aren't words; they're just abbreviations, guys. Please let me get through this, and I'll handle your questions. F stands for foundation links. SP stands for social profiles, and this stands for citations. That's what you want to do in month 1. I'll clear this in a minute and write it out. I don't know if it has that option. The next month 2, press release, domain authority stack, and foundation links. By then, you should be on page 2 or 3, depending on your service. Then month 3, PBNs, guest posts, and niche edits. Month 3 and beyond. And that's when you want to use your money anchors. So apparently some folks are having trouble seeing that. So let me type it out and see if that makes it any easier for you. Yeah, let's see. Font 72. Month 1. This is just link building, okay? So you still have to do your on page and your technical, your site speed, and all those fundamentals. But as far as links, we're going to do social profiles. I guess we'll do it this way. It's big. We're going to do citations. And we're going to do, what was, I already forgot my own thing. And then you can do foundations on month 1 or 2. It's up to you. And month 2, we're going to do press release, DAS, and maybe foundations if you haven't gotten them already. Then month 3 and beyond is when you want to go to the powerful links, because if you in this portion, you should already be age 2 to 3, assuming you've done everything correctly. And you know the other variables. Month 3, you want to do PBN, guest post, niche edit. And this is where I use my money keyword. So, and like I say, if you want to see the services I use for all of that, you can come here to superstarseo.com/best SEO services on Legiit. Again, that doesn't mean that they're best. I just wanted to rank for that. But this is kind of everything I use. And then it goes on beyond what I just showed into other things that I've used and had success with. So lots of good stuff here. So check that out, and I'll go ahead and jump back on camera and take some questions, and then we'll go on from there. All right. Oh, I missed a couple. MK says, thank you for the tips feature. I received a tip from a very lovely buyer yesterday. Legiit has been a blessing for my whole team and me during this tough time. I'm going to launch more services. Thank you, Legiit team. That's great to hear, MK. I really do appreciate that. That you don't know how much that means to all of us here at Legiit. So thank you very much. And I am, of course, going to screenshot that. Danny says, give us links to these. I did that already. There is the link to it, superstarseo.com/best SEO services on Legiit. Cool. Me as a good guy. Yeah. You know, I sometimes get flack for that, like for choosing myself as the best at something. But to me, it's not that I'm not being objective. It's that I'm being good to my customers, in my opinion. Like if somebody asks me what's the best, say, PBN link service, and I sell PBNs and I recommend somebody else, that's really, really rude to people that have given me money for PBN services. Think of it this way. If you went into McDonald's, and this is a terrible example because, you know, they suck, but and said, who has the best fast food burger? And they told you to go to Wendy's. That's just kind of the same thing you're doing when you suggest someone other than yourself. There's no need to be humble when it comes to your products and services. You have an obligation to have the best product or the best service or best whatever it is that you do. So, end rant. Covered that. Tanvir says, any good seller for CTR hack, those Holly Stark show? I don't do that kind of stuff personally, so I don't know what to tell you. Michael said, yeah, thanks, Chris. What's DAS? DAS stands for Domain Authority Stacking. So what you're doing there is you're taking high authority. And when I say domain authority, I don't mean the Moz metric necessarily. I just mean powerful, you know? So high authority sites, and linking them together in a strategic way to push the power from each up and relevance up to your money site, and therefore increase its entire authority and ranking. Doesn't mean that you're increasing the authority of your domain. I've had that come up before, but it means that you're increasing you're helping power up the whole domain, basically. Anthony says domain authority. Thank you, Anthony. Oliver says, thanks. Thank you. What is the PBN service you recommend? I either recommend myself, which I will get you a link to, or I recommend Hatred, who does a great job as well. When I need something outside of my own network for some reason, He's my go-to. He does a great job as well. Whew. John says, thank you, Chris. Would this be the same process if you get an expired domain with pretty good SEO and register it? Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can skip I guess I should talk about that. If you want, you can skip right to the strong links. I do that with affiliate sites sometimes. It's faster, but it's not as safe. So as far as, I don't really do the expired domain thing a lot, but you could probably, it depends on the situation. I know that's like the most frustrating answer in SEO, but it depends on if it has good authority, but if it doesn't have good brand, you may not want to skip the process, but you definitely can skip at least like the foundation links and stuff, I'd say. Lowell says, thanks for the eye opener, Chris. We'll work more on creating more gig in that niche and deliver quality services in that niche. Great. I'm not sure exactly what I said to that regard, but definitely. And if you have a service you'd like me to take a look at, I'd be more than happy to. I got a little bit of sun yesterday, didn't I? Huh. Is the DAS using primarily Google own resources? No, that you're thinking of Google entity stacking, which is very similar in concept, but it's not the exact same. Did I drop Hatred's link? Yes, I did. It's not the exact same thing because those just use like Google Sites and spreadsheets. What do they call their spreadsheets? Sheets. It's funny that I had to think of what they call their spreadsheets when it's called sheets, and docs and whatever they call presentations and things like that. And it's basically doing the same principle, but using only Google properties. I'm more of a fan of DAS, but both work equally well, probably. S. Ahmad says, hey, Chris, how to best one on Legiit? I'm not sure I understand that question, buddy. Make sure I didn't miss any. Sometimes the YouTube ones take forever to like cross over into StreamYard, which is the software that I use. And let me bring up YouTube. Nope, didn't miss any there. All right. So the other thing I said that we were going to talk about today, and even though he's not on, is a review for our friend Kieran. So hopefully he'll catch the replay on this. Yeah, so let me bring that up on the screen here. All right. So this is our friend Kieran. First of all, who shows up a lot of the time on live streams as expert web design. His username on here is Digital Hero, which I think is an awesome username. He says, hello, I'm Kieran. I'm an entrepreneur based in a town called Hastings in the UK. I have a strong knowledge of WordPress and digital marketing. I'm customer focused and offer 100% 30-day money back guarantee with all my Legiit services. That's bold. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. That's pretty straightforward. I like that. Let's see. Arslan says, hi, Legiit. Your support is very good. I appreciate you. Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. In fact, I'm going to have to stop sharing for a moment to get a screenshot of that. Thank you. I very much emphasize support. My team knows that, and they reflect the culture that we create. So I'm glad that you appreciate it. So one moment here whilst I share this with my support team, because I love to give positive reinforcement. There we go. All right, sorry about that. And that probably wasn't the most compelling content. So let's try that again. All right, so a random order review page. All your review links in one place. That's intriguing. I don't know if I like that headline or not, because to me it almost seems, it's a little too vague, although it's probably exactly what it is. So let's take a look. It's a good thumbnail. You know, looking at the camera, he could probably smile a little more, but you know, pot and kettle, all that stuff. White label available. Well, that's cool. Okay, so it looks like this is sort of like a link tree type of thing, but for reviews. I'm not going to watch the video because, you know, it doesn't translate very well to do that live. All your review links in one place. That's a good thing. I think that most people understand the benefit there. Each time a customer lands on your review page, the order of your review links changes. This helps. Okay, so one thing I would do is be a little bit more specific in what they're going to get, because it almost feels like you skipped a few steps here. 70 off with the coupon code. That's good. One-time price, $29.7, normally $120 years forever. Special on Legiit, links in one place, spread your reviews. The main thing I would do is move the benefits up a little bit and kind of go into that, and then go into the discounts and things. But let's see what else. Direct links, white label, that's cool. Here's a demo. I like that. Yeah, I mean, you've hit most of the points. I would just rearrange it a little bit and move the benefits up here to where you talk about what they're getting and how it helps them a little bit. Other than that, dude, I think you're on the right path. I think this is a cool service, and I may actually scoop one myself, to be perfectly honest, because that's a good deal. So yeah, that's I think you're on the right page. Just a few little tweaks here and there, and I think you'll be good to go. Maybe consider the different name, but once you get some traffic to this, I bet you'll be able to sell it. I bet you could really mop up selling this to local businesses as well. So there we go. I hope you catch that on the replay, because I don't see you on today. So, and I know you're UK, so it's late there. All right, questions. Is DAS primarily using Google? No, I already answered that. Sorry, did you say you sell the domains to use as PBNs? No, I don't, but I do have a service on that list for that. Let me find that for you. I have so many tabs open. So let's see, share screen, share. Okay, so like I said, the beyond the process, we get down here. Let's see, and I'm going to do one of these for the other service, the non-SEO services as well. Originally, I was going to have them all in one post, but it got a bit cumbersome. This is who I use for expired domains. So let's take a look at his profile. And he's got like expired domains for PBNs, and then he has them for niche relevant ones for money sites. I've never used that service because I don't really do a lot of that, but both of those. And this is Sakit Wahi, who his name I probably just pronounced incorrectly, but who was also on a live stream, I want to say a month or two ago with me. So, and he'll probably be on again soon. So yeah, this is who I use for that. So, and no need to apologize for questions, dude. Al says, I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Al. I appreciate it too. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, little DJ Khaled. Arslan says, me working on Legiit and my account is level 4. Me much happy because of Legiit community. Awesome. That makes me very happy. I'm glad it's been a help to you. You don't know how much stuff like that, like how much I appreciate things like that. Sean says, for an expired domain that will become a PBN link, how long to wait linking to my money site? Do I let it get indexed first and then build an article and link out? I definitely let it get indexed. And even then you might, depending on the project and the outside variables, even then you might, if you have the ability to wait a couple weeks and see, just let it sit there because it doesn't seem normal, but otherwise you can do it right away as well once it's indexed. Hi, Legiit admin. Please, I have one request. Enable options on PayPal and Payoneer. We have PayPal and Payoneer. Sellers easily change PayPal and Payoneer, but please put these changes on. We have that. Are you the owner of Legiit? I am. Hey, just joining. I didn't see the notification. We actually did your review, but I'm going to go ahead and I can go ahead and do that again for you if you want. So let's hold on for a second for that. But this is Kieran, whose service we just looked at a couple minutes ago. And excuse me while I get some water. So we're going to hang out for a minute and see if he wants us to check that out again, which I'm probably going to do either way. And I'm going to check something over here. Alrighty. I can rewatch to save you going over it again. Was it okay? Yeah, you know what? Let's do it again because odds are the other people just jumped on as well. So, and also I'm out of things to talk about. So we will go ahead and hit that up again. So let me just get it on the screen here. And there really wasn't much feedback, so this won't be too repetitive for those that are watching. So, alrighty, so we found your profile. I used my CEO superpowers to figure out who it was. Digital Hero, I think that's an awesome name, an awesome username. Picture's fine, picture's good. Hello, I'm Kieran. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I like what you did here. It makes perfect sense. Picture's good. You might try smiling, but again, I'm being a hypocrite in that because there are no pictures known to exist of me smiling. And, the one thing I didn't understand beforehand was what that meant. Like the title's a little on the vague side. You may want to tweak that a little bit, although I'm not 100% sure what you would do. I like that you demonstrate it, and I assume that you demonstrate it in this video. I don't want to play that over the live, but if you do, then there you go. The only comment I had here is that you need to move the benefit up because you go right into what it does, but you don't talk about the benefits. So take the benefits and move them up here. Everything else I think looks good. Maybe having a picture and a demo video embedded in the page. I didn't say that the first time, but I would do that as well. But other than that, I think you're on the right track. And I may, like I said, I may scoop one of these myself because I think it's really cool. And I would think this is a big opportunity to use for local businesses as well. So that's kind of the main thing. Arslan said, you can always change Legiit platform. That's good. Me really happy. Thank you and keep it up. Awesome. We got lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe. So stay tuned. Danny says, get a plant. That would not be in the plant's best interest. I have had plants in the past and they didn't live long. So Eslamad says, hey, Chris, which anchor text ratio formula do you use for your own websites and which anchor text works best for building backlinks? So I don't have a strict number. Basically, my approach is this. I do for the foundation links and the citations and the social profiles and all those other things that we talked about a few minutes ago. What I like to do is just use those as, for the most part, those can only be URL, or naked anchors. So I use that. And if there are a possibility of an anchor text, I use a branded. And then when I get up to the money links, the PBNs, the guest posts, the niche edits, I start with my main money keyword and then variations of it. I wait and see what happens. And then if it moves, that's great. Then I do other variations if there are any, or related things or other keywords that I'm targeting. I don't have any strict number or anything like that because every situation is different. That's one of the frustrating things about SEO, but it's also what makes it to where we can charge as much as we do is because we have the skill to be able to figure those things out. So I don't have any strict number or anything like that. I wish I did because one, it would make my SEO easier and it would make SEO teaching much easier, but it varies from site to site, unfortunately. Please flash up your month 1, 2, 3 refresh for slow people. Sure. I'm not going to flash you. Let me see if I can reduce the font just a tiny bit. Format font. And share screen. You guys see that okay? But month 1, social profiles, citations, and foundation links. And if you do stuff like profile links, I don't do them, but you could do those in month 1 as well. But foundations, or you could do the foundations in month 2. That's why I have it as maybe. And then month 2, I do a press release, I do a DAS, and then if I didn't do foundations up here, I do them down there. And then for month 3, but by then you should be around page 2 or 3, assuming you've also done proper keyword research on page and technical SEO, and again, this is situational. Sometimes it may take longer. Sometimes you might get to page 1 with this stuff. And again, this is just for organic. We didn't really cover maps in this. And then month 3 plus, so 3 through however long you need to, you do guest, this is supposed to be a $. You do PBNs, guest posts, and niche edits with money keywords to really drive it home. So that's kind of more or less my process. And I'll drop the link again here in a second. I'm always reluctant to minimize because I keep so many tabs open. So here is the entire suggested services process. Expert Web Design says, I do struggle trying to explain what it is. I'll work on that. And that's the only reason that you have that struggle is because it's unique. That's to your advantage, but you're going to have to play with that formula for sure. Rajal says, feel happy to be a part of Legiit. We're happy to have you as part of it. Thank you, buddy. Can I sell social media services on Legiit for lifetime? Certainly. We have a social media category. Philip says, thanks. Thank you, Philip. Ryan asks for recommendations to have PBNs built out. I'd like to have mine own built out instead of buying. Sure. I know of a designer and I know of a domain seller. I think there are a few people that do both together, but I don't know who they are. But let me show you my designer. I think I have 2 of them on here, actually. So let's see. Well, what do you know? Here's one of them. His name, I don't really know how to pronounce his username, but it's Boken, I think. He does a great job, and as you can see, I've used him regularly. And then there's another one. Where is she? Control F. There it is. She does a great job as well. So let's take a look at that one. So as you can see, I use her sometimes as well. So those are the 2 that I use. As far as someone to build the whole thing for you, I don't know of anyone that offers that service. So maybe there's an opportunity there for somebody. Expert Web Design, thanks for reviewing it for me. I really appreciate it. Oh, no problem. No problem. I'm glad that you actually brought it up because I haven't done a live stream in a while and I haven't had a chance to outreach to any guests other than Rohin, who will be back this week. So Kismet. Philip asks, any advice on press release for dummies? Check out Nick Lee's group. Let me see if I can't find that on Facebook. He's kind of the press release guy. I don't know that much about them. I just use them for branded links. So I'm going to drop a link to his group. It's basically groups/spine PR, but just talk to him. He's kind of the authority. I was going to say guru, but I hate that term. He's kind of the authority on that. Glenn says, I want to add a service on Legiit, but not sure if it will work. It's geolocation pages for WordPress, local organic SEO. I don't know what you mean by if it'll work, if it's too hard for that model. I can kind of see that, but map stuff sells really, really well. People are obsessed with Google Maps, and anything that they think will help them will do it. So if you need some advice on it specifically, let me know. But from the sound of it, it sounds like something that would sell like a boss. How did you select the service on your best services list? Did you test them all personally? Yeah, that's why I was sharing my reviews on them. I have used them. Every one of these that's listed. And again, I want to strongly state that this does not necessarily mean they are the best. I put that there for SEO purposes. That means that they're the ones I've used and have been happy with and have had success with. That doesn't mean that there aren't better ones. It doesn't mean there aren't worse ones. It doesn't mean there aren't ones that are the same. It's a very awkward situation for me to say something is the best on a platform that I own, because I don't want to show any favoritism. But yeah, if you see, it says, it's a question I get, but it's awkward for me. It's not what I'm showing people that, let's see. So before I get things covered, I personally used every service listed here. In fact, this is every SEO service on Legiit I have ever used and been happy with. I'm not part of the SEO something community. I don't accept someone as the master of X without having used it myself just because someone else said so. So yeah, I've used all of these myself. Many of them I've used repeatedly, and I've found success with all of them. I'm not in the habit of recommending things to just recommend them, especially when it's my platform. It doesn't make sense to recommend something, that I haven't used. So yeah, I have. That's a good question, and I'm glad you asked it. But yeah, I have. Adrian, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Adrian asks, hi, Chris, is it fine to run Facebook ads and point it on my services on Legiit? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Promote in any way you think is good. And if yes, do you have some tips on what's best countries or cities and industries to target? Man, it really varies from service to service, unfortunately. What I can suggest is that you have an advantage being, I want to say this in a way that doesn't come off badly, but being able to target a specific country and having people know that they can relate to you. I hope that doesn't come off the wrong way, but I found that that's very important to people, to work with people of their own geo area. So I would try that, but you're going to have to try different things because it's just really, it varies a lot from service to service in our experience, you know. Arslan says, here is night in Pakistan, so now I'm sleeping. Good night, Legiit admin. Good night, Arslan. Thank you for taking the time to attend, and definitely call me Chris. Because technically the Legiit admin that you see, that's not me most of the time. But yeah, call me Chris. But thanks for attending and have a great night. Danny says, what are your thoughts on GroovePage's platform? I haven't used it. I got the free account because why not? Their marketing it's working well for them. It's being shoved down people's throats by a lot of people in the SEO community because they want to get affiliate commissions, not so much they think that it's good. And, you know, I'm not saying anyone in particular that's been bad about that, but I don't know. I haven't used it enough to say anything about it. To me, though, at a glance, it looks like ClickFunnels killer number 2,114. And it's only getting the push that it is because, what's his name? Is it Mike Filsame? I think is running it. Forgive me if that's the wrong name, but because he has, you know, a big brand and following is what I'm looking for behind him. So I haven't used it. I'm sure it's fine, but for now I'm sticking with ClickFunnels because that's what I know. I know for a lot of SEOs that even that is like, you know, my eyes are really sore today. All right, we've been here for 47 minutes. I think this has been a fun stream. I'm glad we decided to do this. I'm glad that some turnout has been pretty good. We've got somebody watching on Twitch. Hello, one Twitch user. All right, any more questions or anything I can help you with or talk to you about or anything like that? If not, we'll probably wrap up pretty soon. My voice is pretty hoarse, and I have another call at 3 because it's just nonstop, you know. Don't stop till you get enough. Rest in peace, MJ. We'll give it another minute or two and see if there's anything else, but that was kind of the main topics that I wanted to cover. Let me link to that post one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and link to Kieran's service once as well. I think that you guys should check that out. It seems like a really cool thing that you should offer to your clients. I think it's a really cool concept that they would really be impressed with. So let's drop that as well. Danny says, thanks for all the good info. Thank you, Danny. Thanks for showing up. Sean says, thanks for the insight, Chris. Thank you, Sean. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you could join us today. Sundora asks, what do you think of embedding the Google Maps onto other websites? I usually do it on some high authority sites once per campaign, or once per GMB campaign. I think it helps a little. It's not like the game changer that it used to be, but it's still worth doing, in my opinion. Adrian says, your stream is awesome. What app are you using on your live streams? I am using a tool called StreamYard. It's really, really awesome. I like it a lot. It's really well run. I've tried every option in the world that does this, and this is the only one that's consistently done the things I've wanted it to do. It's the only one that works well to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. They're constantly preventing it, and so on. So there's the link to it. It works really well with my referral link. Philip says, thanks, Chris. Thank you, Philip. Sundora says, thanks, Chris. And he says, can you come up with a vaccine for COVID? I think we're getting pretty close on that, and that's all I really want to get into that subject. All right. There we go. That's the link to StreamYard. We still got a good 25 people on, although most of you have dipped off, and that's quite all right. If you have anything else in the next minute or two, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it a day and hopefully get a few minutes of lunch in before my 3 o'clock. Philip says, when you embed Google Maps, enable lazy loading, otherwise it will wreck your page speed. Well, that's a good tip. One thing I don't do is, it used to be popular and I don't really like it anymore. I think that I don't want to say it has a negative effect, but I think it's not great if you have a map embedded in your footer, because one, it affects your site speed regardless. And two, if you have multiple locations, that's going to be really confusing to Google's crawler. So try to find a place to put it in the page as opposed to putting it in the footer. So there's my tip on that for the day. We'll give it till, let's see, it's 51:25. We'll give it till 55, and then we're going to call it a day. So got 2.5 minutes left, or 3.5 minutes left. If you have anything else you'd like me to cover, I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I know this was very last minute, but I wanted to get it in today. I knew that Kieran is in the UK, so if I'd have waited, my other option was to wait till 4. And that's getting kind of late over there. So I wanted to get it in at the last minute here. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that I know that everybody's very busy. So anytime anybody spends any time with me, it's greatly appreciated, because at a million, what's that? What's it that Jay-Z says in that one song? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. And I do. So I have to give a shout out to Jay next time we have lunch. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes remain. Any last second questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns? Anthony says, thanks for a great stream again, Chris. Thank you, Anthony. Always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. And we got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to get a little bit more water because my voice is out of shape. There was a whole... Chris, what's a good SEO niche that's overlooked by other SEOs? If you mean for local, I'm gonna say wedding photographers. They don't get near hammered like dentists and plumbers and roofers and stuff do, but they still pay really well, and they seem to get SEO. So that's a good one. Kieran said, or Expert Web Design says, thanks for today. Great as always. Thank you, Expert Web Design. Philip says 8 p.m. in the UK right now. Well, for me, that's late. I go to bed at like 10. So Oliver says, thanks a lot for the insights, Chris. Thank you, Oliver. I appreciate you showing up today, my friend. Glad you enjoyed it and got some value out of it, as much as I can't stay on that term. Sean says, quick one. How many Web 2.0s to build out for a first time on a new website? 30 to 50, or go for missing link service, which is like 400. His service is more for link building authority, and I don't use it, but it works well from what I'm told. I do mine differently. I use 20 to 40 branded ones. So, seansbusiness.weebly.com, and I build it out and make it look fairly nice and put a post on it and link to it with your brand name on it. And that's kind of what I do for them. So if I had to give you a number, I would say 25 to 50 at the upper end. So Jeff's real big on continuing to add content to them to keep them live. I definitely agree with that too, although it's a pain in the butt at scale. And no software I've found really does it the right way. So hopefully that answered that. All right, 20 seconds remain. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Thanks again for attending, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out that link one more time. It has some of the services I've used and enjoyed. So I hope that it's helpful to you. I hope it makes me some affiliate commissions as well. But most of all, I hope it provided you some value. And as usual, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. I'll see you again on Wednesday, most likely. Take care. Peace.